Welcome to the Woodwork Podcast. Today, I'm your host. It's Paul from
No,
J
whoa. Good people of the internet. I am your host, Jerry from Grantland Timber.
So it seems like
How
Grantland
we
is
doing?
back. I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Not wrong.
Good. So let's have a bit of a catch up, and it's that time of year where we're nearly into end of February now. Everyone's made their plans back in back in the last year. Everyone calls them New Year's resolutions. I call them that's rubbish. Everyone fails them. I always like to set goals and targets to what I want to achieve over the year. And you know what I mean? It just takes so long. I mean, how are you finding, because I know that your life's got so busy recently with the house move and farm life and...
Yeah, I found myself completely I went silent on social media because it's so nice now appreciating that the difficulties of actually being here full time comparative to being here in just a normal working day. Because during a normal working day, you can just clock out and then, the day's issues are done. But then being on, like, just an example, I've spent the last 3 fucking nights waking up. Sorry, excuse me. I've spent the last 3 nights waking up at probably around about 4 in the morning, sometimes even earlier, because cattle have escaped. I then have to get out of bed. I have to shut them up. Usually it takes me about an hour and a half because it's pitch black. Like, you can't see anything. And like my poxy little head torch is pants anyway. So
Hope R8.
Yeah.
Hope R8 is what you need.
Yeah. What's that?
The Hope R8 head torch. Way forward, mate. 100%.
Is it really expensive?
Mate, it's what you need for that time of the year. 100%.
Okay.
About 300 quid. It's fine.
What? It's so expensive.
But is a cow not worth more than 200 quid?
Well, not at the minute. I'd happily shoot them.
Okay. So, not the start we wanted to win. I mean,
sorry for all the vegan appreciators and cow lovers. Remember, methane issue, guys. Methane.
Yeah, I can see though it can be a bit of a chore that time of the morning. The thing is, you've still got a full day after that to feed the animals, do the sawmill, felling trees, and everything.
Well, everything's taken a knock-on effect. I'm now like all of those little kind of jobs that you just seem to neglect or are unable to do in a typical kind of normal working day when you're not here. It's all condensed down, and then you realize, my God, this is actually quite a lot. And I've got a newfound respect for. So it's not before me. There's a chap here called Nick. When you come here to, you'll you know who exactly I'm talking about. Anyway, Nick has been doing here solo, effectively. I'm filling his shoes, and there is a newfound respect for the levels of work in which he's put in for a consistent amount of years. Like, it's hard. It's probably been really testing for him to do it on his own for such a long time, and a whole different spectrum of understanding now. No wonder why he's a miserable git.
But again, this brings me back to the old thing. Sorry, just to put in there, but Clarkson's farm. I know Clarkson is a buffoon and he's an idiot, and you either love or hate him. But Clarkson's farm on TV, it actually brought farming into the people's living room, and they realised how hard it was. I mean, what was it the first year in all this farming, and you make hundreds of thousands of pounds? It'd be like 10 quid.
Yeah.
And it's like
134 pounds after he costed everything. Yeah. But that's again, I think he also appreciated that would have actually been his take home. And if he didn't have a crew of Amazon, people filming him,
he
then
would have folded 100%. But it just shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was very humbling in this instance. Do you know what I mean? For a change. I mean, I love that series, the second series. I'm looking forward to the third series, just because it's so interesting to see how hard people work, and people don't understand that. I mean, you're chasing. I mean, I've chased loose dogs in the past race sites for 2-3 hours at 2 a.m, and then you got to get up at 5 a.m to feed the dogs, prep the dogs, and everything. You're doing this for like how many cattle, and so you do like a 2 hours chase rounds before you have to start work. Do you know what I mean? It's like
it's time consuming. But then I think what was highlighted in that whole Clarkson thing, it's genuinely, it's like there is an element of it being a lifestyle. Yes, it's the good and the bad. Like there's going to be portions of that. It doesn't happen frequently, of course. It's just a very really shit time of the year. But it can be it's tiresome. It's draining. Like
100%, yeah.
Yeah, but I think, that that's like that for, I'm sure, quite a lot of people in their working environment. It's draining.
But again, I think that's what this time of year type thing, where everyone's set those goals and something gets in the way, like a cow gets in the way and just escapes, for example. Now, this could be that, I don't know, one of your kids had a problem at school, or I don't have kids, so it's hard for me to imagine that, but having a kid at school that's got a problem or whatever, so it stops you from doing something, or you have a problem with your social life, like with your missus or your partner. And that could really set you back an awful lot for, if you set yourself a deadline, like I will do this by January, I will do this by February. And this is why resolutions get broken. It's because you set yourself specific dates or times. And I find it hard, and you put too much pressure on yourself. I mean, you can't allow for, say, you want to get like X amount of trees felled and logged and milled in January, say, for example. Well, can you actually sort of like turn around and say, well, can you plan for that field being waterlogged? Can you plan for that cow getting out 3 times every day for a week? You can't do those sort of things, can you?
No, that's it. You've hit the nail on the head. And I think sometimes it's very important for people to realize that there is an element of structure for your resolutions, and the resolutions are maybe perhaps a nice thing, and it's not necessarily hitting him on a specific deadline or getting things done in a specific time. That's what I would say. Definitely farming has taught me.
I mean, farming is a bit different. You can't. I mean, I'm talking about that. If you had a personal goal of saying you wanted to do X, Y, Z, well, that cow running out the field every 2 fucking minutes because it's being a dick is going to stop you from getting that goal, because everything has that knock-on effect, doesn't it? And it can snowball to. I mean, have you noticed it? Obviously, I know you have, but you've noticed it in like with your social media presence, because you've been that busy over the nasty period of the year with the weather and all that, with the farming plans. It's really knocked you back, hasn't it, in like time wise and being able to do what you wanted to do.
Yeah. So I had an expectation in my head that by this point already I would have already started my online live auctions, and I set myself a very specific date to have everything up and running. But of course, like anything, the moment that you decide to put a fixed period of time on it, of course that's never going to happen, is it? So but it's materialized. That's the main thing. It's happening. It's that whole 80, I think it's called an 80-20% rule. I don't know how much of that is correct or factual, but it's the last 20%, which is about 80% of the work, or something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, preparation's not the work, isn't it? It's just the finishing. It's that sort of thing, isn't it? Everything's preparation takes you that much longer to get there. But as long as you get there, I mean, tell us about this, because obviously it's something else we're going to get into. So your auction, because I think we maybe have spoke about this in the past briefly or we spoke about it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure we spoke about it on the podcast or not. That's what I'm saying. I know we have personally. But the auction.
Yeah.
So
So
I'd like to know about this because I know it's a very good concept, and especially for those who want to get nice big slabs of whatever wood, and you can have it in a year's time, 2 years' time, or whenever you want it, type thing. So just tell us about that, because the concept's really good, because it's opening up the doors for so many people. 100%. Not the woodturners.
I'll
I
cater
actually
to
don't
them.
know because Jerry hates the woodturners. He hates them.
Well, I'm learning to appreciate them.
They're a different breed, and I agree they're a different breed. But again, we had Jubal or Jubal. I forget how to pronounce his name. Sorry. Oh, such a great guy. Do you know what I mean? One thing.
Yeah. Wicked guy.
And of
He
course,
comes to visit a lot.
I've got some very good wood turning friends like Kate and Dave and everyone else that are amazing. Do you know what I mean? And sorry, that was just a bit of a joke that Jerry didn't like wood turners originally.
Refer back to the first
episode
thing I did
19
here.
or 20, I think it was. It's quite early on.
Hates wood turners.
Mm.
So
anyway, so yes, your new auction thing, which sounds interesting and exciting for sure.
Yeah, I found that it's because of where the location of the mill is. It's still quite far for everyone, and also it enables people to buy material at a fairly affordable, I would say quite an affordable rate, and it also gives people the flexibility in being able to collect something whenever they like, and the value of timber only appreciates when it is dry. Like that is just a standard thing that people need to that people know. And
when it's dry, it's worth 10 times. It's not 10 times, but it's probably worth what 3 or 4 times as much easy when it's dry and usable compared to when it's wet. Or
absolutely
not wet, but you know what I mean. But yeah.
So it stemmed from the idea that one there it started off as click and collect. It started off on my stories where people could buy something on what I just threw up, and then I would store it and season for them, and they can collect it at a later date. Had loads of fun with it. It was good and it worked quite well. The concept worked really well, and then I suddenly realized this is probably, this could go on for quite some time, and then I've then got all of the sheds full of timber that's already sold, which is helpful, but I've got nothing in there to stock for myself. But the downside is I kind of needed to.
Space is expensive and a premium as well, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I only imagined in my head that it would be maybe less than 10 people. Yeah.
I bet you've got what 50 or 60 at least.
I just imagined that it may have been 10 people consistently that would probably buy the stuff, and I would just be working with less than like 5 people.
Are you actually greener than the timber? Not believing that you can't believe that you only had like 10 slabs. I mean, the offer you gave, I mean, if I could, actually, honestly, if I would store it, I would bring my long wheelbase van, L3H2, down, fill a van for £10 a board you were doing. Like, the fucking amount of money I can make on every run here is ridiculous. I just had nowhere to put it when it got here. Yeah, you didn't think it quite through. Concept, amazing. Especially for the hobby, not the hobbyist, but the you're probably aiming more for the non-professional, like using like 10 pieces every week. You're aiming for more the hobbyist type person where they only want one board, don't they, or 2 boards type thing ever, or for a big project coming up. And the deal's amazing. It's like, I mean, it does require a bit of pre-planning, doesn't it? I mean, to a point, but
yeah. I mean, I never realistically thought it would catch on, but there seems to be an interest for it because stuff is fucking expensive. And I do have, luckily, at my disposal to a certain degree, I do have space. And I don't, me for the milling part is a portion of income, but not the full-time income. So that's where the whole live auction thing came into play, because when it's dark and you're at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a winter evening and you can't see jack shit anyway, there's very little footfall at the farm, of course, during those dormant times of the year, because it's just a crap place to visit.
Cow, just like it down the road.
It'll be on your plate soon. I hate that thing at the moment. Oh, gosh, it pisses me off so much. But yeah. So the thing is that I learned is providing. People are on their phones quite a lot during the winter, and and I just thought, okay, so the click and collect did really well on my stories. How can I just make that a little bit different? And it's also a great way, I think, of being in a really isolated rural place. I can connect with them. They can buy some cool wood, and it's just an evolution of that, really. But still working out the kinks. It's actually I timed myself.
It's a difficult one, to be honest, because the concept, I love your concept, and I really do love your concept, but I can just see a lot of issues with, as you say, space, storage. So, of course, you've got to have to mark every single piece because of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever. Because you bought 1, you bought 3, you bought 1 and 5 and 1 and 7 or whatever. Then you've got to have the infantry system to work out who did what piece at the same time.
Yeah.
When they want to get it, because the problem is, every time, and it's sod's law when you rejoin it, the bit you want is always the bit at the bottom.
Absolutely.
So you've got to work that out, but then you've got to air dry it in the same way as the other species within the species.
Yeah.
As the logs forms.
Yeah.
It makes it very, very complicated.
It does.
The principle, the concepts are really good. I love the concept. Excuse me. And I do think it'll really appeal to a lot of people. The other thing, actually, going off this slightly, I like to wander, but I've had a lot of people and seen a lot of people wanting like mixed plank bundles at the minute. Now the thing is, like a lot of hardwood places, I know there is a few out there. I think like I've got the name now. Like Exotic Woods do them, and I know Braddock Surrey Timber does them, and a few other places. But there's a lot of call for people wanting, or hobbyists. They actually want they've got a piece of wool, a piece of oak, a piece of Purdue, a piece of Purple Heart. They want a mixed sizes. Do you know what I mean? So that could be another option where you think about, stacking a bit of elm and yew and all the other things and sending them as a mixed bundle. But then again, you've got to process them afterwards, and it's all that other work where you're just selling the slabs, you know what I mean, to a point.
Mm-hmm. I have tried courier from the farm, and it's so difficult because of our track. It's just crap. Like the courier drivers do not want to attempt to go near us. So if I try even like pieces of tiny bits of wood, it was just a nightmare. It's basically another job.
Could you not actually get like a container down the end of near the entrance, say? I know it's actually cost to you, but obviously this will be passed on to the client at the end of the day. Could you not maybe get a shipping container down towards the entrance, where you then put deliveries to be collected. I know that has to be an extra cost, and it's something you have to put the shipping container for start.
Mhm.
But you know what I mean? Or a shed where you sort of like do it, because the problem is these days as well, it's not, we all want it. Amazon. That just sums it up. Amazon.
Yeah, that's it. You want your instant,
I want to buy it
you
online.
know. That's it.
Mate, I don't. We very rarely even go do a food shop anymore because even we've got a supermarket everywhere. It's just so easy to online on the phone or I'm sat on the couch watching nothing on TV. I mean, I could even do a food shop on the other screen here as we're talking. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just so easy, especially when everything is. And it's something I don't quite get myself, and I've not worked it out myself how to do it with my products that I sell. Is how you link them to your pages and stuff like that. Because the amount of questions I get are like, where can I buy this? You're like, oh, if you read the description, it actually tells you where to go. Do you know what I mean? But like on YouTube,
Can you not put a hyperlink? Can you not put a hyperlink on there?
you can't do it in Instagram and you can't do it on YouTube descriptions anymore. They've taken off links. So you get all these questions and answers. But I know there's now AI that can do automatic replies for you with links and stuff like that. But to me, that just screams spam account. Do you know what I mean? And it's like so hard when you've got like a great service there, or it's like the concept's amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got
You've
got
got
to
to.
work out how to execute it properly to where people won't get pissed off with you. Which would be
That's it.
really
I
hard
think.
because you're trying to sell like big slabs and small pieces and these pieces and 10 different species. How would you do it?
See, that's where I think I haven't. I've got the infrastructure now, which is quite nice. I had to basically redo a shed. There was a shed down there. It had no electrics, no lights, and it had holes in it. So had to contend with all of that first. But I think now I'm just figuring out how it would logistically work, and then again, I've got to cut it. Are people going to get bored of me just pushing my mill through a bit of wood before, or are they actually going to stick around to watch that board in the?
I actually think though as well because obviously we had Bosch Thomas on. Well, you had him on, didn't you, as a guest? And again, he's someone I've been watching on Instagram for maybe a year, say, maybe give or take. And even just watching him using that big stupid claw hook thing and turning a timber around, you'd watch it because that's what you do. And people, especially when they're milling with a chainsaw, they love it. They absolutely love it. It's good content, but does content and equal sales? That's the other argument. Do you know what I
mean? I hope for the most part it's just going to be a bit of fun in the evening. If it translates to a couple of boards being sold, so be it. That's great. But I think as I approach the whole click and collect thing as a bit of fun, I think as long as I approach this also just as a bit of fun in the evenings, then
absolutely, yeah.
Come what may. The thing that I want to do so I'm not at a complete loss is try and find. I've been sending out loads of emails to companies to see if they would be interested in sponsoring the thing, but I haven't got numbers. Right. I haven't got any information that I can provide them, and I haven't got obviously a viewing database.
If you've not done it, how do you give numbers?
That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
The thing is, though, have you ever watched Dragon's Den?
Yeah.
And they go in with like a stupid valuation with a product that doesn't exist. And like, well, where are your numbers? Well, we haven't got any numbers. We've got any sales. I mean, you're not valuing the company or whatever. I'm not saying you are, but you're at that point where you're like, well, it's a startup, isn't it, for you? Or I know it's not your company's not a startup, but I mean, this little bit of it or the idea of it is a startup idea of the sub branch or a tree of the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's just it's a pie in the sky. It might be a load of fun. It might be a complete flop, but who knows? That could be. That's yet to be confirmed.
Okay. Give us 1 minute. I need to go for a pee, mate. I'm dying for a pee. I'll just edit this bit.
Yeah.
Give us 2 minutes.
Yeah, go for it.
Plus, she's put the heating on as well, so it's red hot in there, so I took my fleece off. All right. Where we are? 27. You right?
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're back.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the talks are literally the other side of that door there, mate.
That's handy, isn't it? The workshop.
What is when I'm having a bevy tonight, you know what
I mean, this is the other downside of being so far away from fucking civilization. You can't just wander off to the shop to pick up, like, booze.
Mate, we don't. This bit isn't being recorded either. Well, it is being recorded, but I'll take it out. Do you know what I mean? Mate, I had that. I was living in Austria for 8 months, mate. The nearest shop was 25-minute drive away.
God, that's so far, isn't it? That's the same. That's basically like here.
And literally, it's like I couldn't have a drink. I couldn't have anything to eat because if I didn't have anything, I was fucked. It's shit. It's a different way of living in the winter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just sort of
absolutely.
like adapt to it and just work it out, don't you? But it's really shit when you haven't got something and you haven't got it.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a cake obsession, and
mate, I fucking love cakes and biscuits and stuff like that.
I fucking can't help myself, and I forever, whenever my partner's like on her way back from, grab a cake, all the cakes, fucking just so you know,
I'll have to find you my old recipes from Austria. I had some like sourdough cakes I could make.
Yeah.
So, because I was living, mate, in like -15, and I was in a log cabin, literally 2 hot plates, fucking nothing. I used to make my own sourdough cakes every single day. Mate, it's fucking. I mean, I loved it because I got my cake fix. Do you know what I mean?
Marks and Sparks, so far, has very affordable cakes.
No, I like my £1.34 tub of ice cream from Asda with the dinosaur sprinkles and the ice cream sauce on and marshmallows. I'm 4 years old. Do you know what I mean? That's where we're at 30 minutes. I'll pick up where we're just going off from a second ago about orders and stuff because I've got something to again. Yeah, so I had the same thing about with trying to sort of scale orders. You're saying about you get the idea, you run with it, you go with it, and it starts to work. And how do you scale it? Because I had the same thing with me 3D printing recently, where I just thought because of a shoulder injury and having surgery and all that, and I took the opportunity to literally design several things that have been in my sketchbook next to my computer for like, I don't know, a year. Some of them actually, the domino space had been there for 6 years. But I never had the means to do it. So now I've got the means to do it. I designed it, prototyped it, got it out there, and sales went mad. Like really, really good for like 2 months.
Good.
And then I don't know if there's a few trolls that were appearing again. Thank you for my trolls. I love how you perceive to ruin my life all the time. I love your group. Keep going. But even still, you get past them, they kill themselves for 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks, trolls, but never mind. And yeah, it's so hard though, because the thing is, once you've hit your audience, if you like, because I think our social media is about the same sort of audience level, you know what I mean? And literally, it's a case of how would you then scale it up? Because I'm just shit. Oh no,
No.
my social media is about. Hello.
Oh, there you are. What happened? How did you then what?
You just glitch for a minute then. Must be an internet thing. So yeah, yeah. So you're about 3. I'm about 3 times bigger than you are on Instagram. But the thing is, once you've only got your sales, your size, if you know what I mean, no matter what it is, 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000, you've got all the sales there, haven't you? For that
Right.
area. So you need to increase your sales. You need to increase your audience to get more sales. How do we do that? Let us know in the comments down below, please. We need to know. We need the answer.
Yeah. I think we'll have to.
My sales have dropped massively. And it's not that they've dropped. It's the case of the audience I've probably reached or managed to get, they've all bought them.
Well, are you gonna do ads? Are you gonna run ads on
I've run ads.
any platform?
I have run ads on Instagram, and they worked 100%. Because I'd run an ad for, like, say, 15 quid for a day. Well, that's one item, basically. So it was, for me, the way I looked at it was, I gave out one item free for the cost of the ad. Do you know what I mean? Because the item's about 16, 17 quid.
Right.
Yeah, it's been interesting because I've got a few other things coming very soon. Not something I'm willing to put out on social media.
What in the fucking hell is wrong with this stupid thing?
That's your internet, pal. It's your internet.
I think it was doing this last time, but
no, it's just it's been all right. It's going to be two glitches. That's fine. We'll work it out. And again, I'll just edit out the other bits for people that are listening or watching.
I'm just running a speed test. It's not great.
Just mate,
but it's not
fine.
It's not great, but it's not poor. But
fine.
It's all right.
But yeah, I've just found that I do think a lot of it as well is like, and I find it so strange with your Instagram page personally, that your content is so good. That the fact of you haven't got 20, 30,000 followers already. It's just not growing. It's just not growing at the rate I thought it would do. Because, I mean, the content and what you put into the content is really good, and it's like everything's informing. It's good and funny, and not everything's funny, but you have like a good mix of everything, and yet your account's not growing in the sense that it should do. It's bizarre.
Oh well. It's. I don't know. I don't know what I mean, I'm not consistent. That's probably a definitely a negative. I think there's an element of consistency which is needed on any kind of social media to
I don't agree. I
gain
do.
traction.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of your posts here that are so good that literally they should have gained so much more traction. I mean, your recent one, I think it is your most recent reel. Excuse if the audio comes through now. Oh, it's not coming through, thankfully, because it's got me. It's where you're walking up to the fence and it's the twig. The twig. I mean, that tree is enormous.
That's a good tree, isn't it? Okay, so for the record, I don't think people can appreciate.
You're wearing fucking pajamas, though. Do you know what I mean?
That's a selling point. You've got to approach these things in a very relaxed manner.
Okay.
So that tree is quite interesting, and I think sometimes people don't. When you see massive slabs, people tend to recognize that that's just a
yeah.
That for the big slabs that you've ever come across, that thing dwarfs it. There are very few times in your whole career that you will. This is the biggest thing that I will ever. Well, I have worked on today, and I've been doing tree work now for about 14 years. So this it might be the biggest thing that I'll ever have to process. I don't know. We'll see. But that is not that's not a baby tree. That's huge.
The only thing I'm worried about is the bottom branches. You're sort of like, it looks a bit rotten where it snaps, and there's obviously other rotten parts for sure, 100%. So the whole thing for me is like, how integral is the actual main? It's a risk.
That's the risk when you mill up bits of wood. Everyone who mills up bits of wood takes a chance on it, because what people tend to think is when they look at that tree, they think it has such a significant value. Let's just remember that tree has had about 800 years of growth, probably maybe more. There is loads of shit in there. We're talking everything that you could possibly imagine.
So the big branch going up, you get some boards out at 100%. Some good, like 12-foot boards, maybe, I think. There's the other one going out at 45. Get some 8-foots out of that. The rest of it to your left on the bottom is dead and no use. That bit above your head is no use. All the other crap. All the value, if any, is in that chunk, the stump, if you like, where the nail.
Do you think?
Nail there, isn't there? Yeah. If that's
I would say the value of it is actually the lateral branches. They're quick to process. This is what people tend to forget. So this France has the best oak in the world. They have the best oak in the world. Why is that? Is because their rotational cycle is 250 years. And if you go there, all the oak trees are tall and straight. Like they harvest, they can load it on, they throw it through a sawmill, rapid, so fast. This thing is not going to be. We're talking, the diameter of the stuff that you probably find in terms of French oak will be no bigger than 24 inches in diameter.
What you're saying French?
Wow, it might be a bit bigger than that, but
Saying French oak, that's European oak. European oak. Now people get confused when they have English oak and they say, "Oh, that's European." No. English oak is totally different, entirely different species to European oak. Entirely different. It looks nothing the same at all in the slightest, apart from its oak. Do you know what I mean? But that, I'd be interested to see what comes of that, because I see a lot of scrap there.
It's not good quality timber. It's poor quality. But to the right person,
it's not rotted. It's not rotted. It's the fact
no.
that it's global.
I think what we how many times does someone see a board in their life that is 10 foot wide? That's you know,
I know.
that's not.
I think that's where the value will be. I think those slabs in the actual main truck. I mean, I've just given you about 1,000 views just on the other screen at the minute already. Do you know what I mean? It's on Ultimate Play, replay. But I do think those slabs there. I think that's going to be like some big ass milling machine to actually get it even processed.
Yeah, it will be. So I've been looking at how I'm going to do this because my sawmill at max its max diameter is 6 foot 2 inches wide. So it's already too big for my mill by 4 foot. So I've been looking online.
I'm guessing that's about sort of 12 to 14 foot. Just looking at the
What,
going off your
diameter. So the diameter of it is roughly 10 foot wide. It's probably a little bit over by maybe 5 to 6 inches.
So you need a bit of leeway.
There is only
you need about 12 foot, then, don't you?
Yeah. So there is only one company that actually create a Alaskan style milling setup that can do that, and that's Panther Mills, which are a company, I think, off the top of my head, but don't quote me on it. They might be in Clumpton, but or have they gone bust? Panther Mills UK. So Panther Horrors. My Panther Mill. So there are setups here, but they don't look. They do a 10 foot. They do a 10 foot wide cutting capacity. That's huge, though. That's huge. But that's as big as I can get. That's the biggest setup I can find.
I mean, don't forget, I don't know about milling and that sort of side of things. But what I'm saying is, I don't think a 10 foot milling size is big enough for that. I don't think it is. Not safely.
It might not be.
I mean, what you need to do then is probably get Walsh Thomas, come down, CJ, sort it out. I know you're dodgy as you know what I mean, as there is. Give him just give Thomas a few pints. He'd be right out there with this fucking chainsaw and he'd be working out, won't he? You know what I mean? That's got him written all over. That lad, I mean, I'm not trying to downgrade Thomas at all. I think he's a very talented person, you know what I mean?
He knows his stuff. He can do absolutely anything.
But I mean, I'm just saying from my point of view where I don't understand milling, I don't understand what it is, I don't understand the process, I don't understand the tools. So that's just me having a bit of a laugh and what have you. But I do think that this has got him written all over just because of, I know he likes to take on the challenges and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He might find this one quite fun. I mean, I think it would just be a good crack anyway. And if I can get our Tom, then yeah, let's go for it. So hang on, I'm just looking here. How much it would have to be? 108. What's 100? No, that's 9 foot. Bugger, it's got to be bigger than that, mate. So the biggest I'm looking at their website now is 74 inches. That's 100. Is it?
No.
That's a toy, really.
188 is 6 foot, mate.
Yeah, so I might as well just use my machine. This is going to be a bit of a work in progress. I'll need to do a bit of homework, but I think this is going to be quite.
I do think it'll be quite fun. It's a good project, but unfortunately, sometimes the £100,000 machine you need for doing the job isn't worth doing the job, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No, this is totally worth doing the job. What? How many people in their life can say, "I shit you not, I slabbed up a 10 foot wide slab"?
Debbie does tell us. There you go. Oh, you're too young for that, aren't you? You're only a child, aren't you?
Well, actually, I think I have a vague understanding of what you're on about, and
I always forget the
We'll leave that for the late night edition.
So what you also need to do is, if you're interested in milling up or buying a slab, go and check out Grantland Timber. You need to sort out his delivery. We're going to sort that out. He's going to work on it. You know he's a work in progress. We know he's a work in progress. You are a work in progress, aren't you, Jerry?
Yeah, constantly.
And the good thing is, though, he goes, he adapts, he overcomes, and he improves. And he gets there. So let's
get there.
Go and buy stuff off him. I mean,
well,
one of his other posts is like, it says Jerry show me your wood on his Instagram. It's his middle thing on his thing. I actually think he's actually positioned that on purpose for some weird reason. No, he is. He's definitely doing it. He's trying it. He's trying it on. Tell you. But as always, people, we need your support. Just please share the podcast. Give us some comments. Give us a review. I don't care if it's a bad review or a bad comment. Just tell me what you think.
I do. I care.
Engagement is engagement. I don't care.
No, come on.
We need the engagement. We need it. We need this podcast to go up the ranks. This is now episode 54, 55, I'm not sure.
So out of curiosity,
it's not going to be available for much longer if we can't at least double the views.
Paul doesn't mean that. He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it. He's having a bit of a wobbler. He's just waiting for his next beer.
Well,
where do you want it? Where would you like it to go?
Well, this was all started off with Josh, and I don't think Josh will be listening, but he made a good friend out of Josh, and it was his idea. We started this, and the whole idea was just literally us talking and chatting shit, and then we use it as a networking tool. It's been amazing. I've made so many good friends, so many good, amazing connections, and guests have made connections. Excuse me. Guests have made connections that would not have been made without the podcast. The problem is the amount of money it costs me every single month. I can't keep doing it, and I won't. I'll keep it going for as long as I can because I enjoy doing it, because it's a good excuse to speak to other people. But the thing is, I don't need that excuse to have a video chat with you or with any one of my guests I've had on before, ever. Do you know what I mean? I think I've had over 40 guests on so far in the last year. I've made some great, amazing friends, but I can still do that on Instagram. I can have voice calls with people. I have people that follow me that I give advice to, and I do video chats with them. I can do that outside of the podcast. So if you do want me to, and Jerry, of course, to keep getting guests on and getting people in and giving you other offers, we just need you to share it, like it, boost it up. But even with us having 54 episodes, we're in the top 5% in the world already. Ridiculously. Top 5% of the world.
What? What?
There's not many podcasts that get that far. And with going that far, I'm keeping that many people on. And we have constant uploads every single month.
So doesn't that show that there is an element of something here? I think it's one of those annoying things again. It's the whole 80-20. I'm probably going to come back to this too much. But...
So people, please help us. If you like it, you like our shit, just let us know. If you've got more chat about other stuff, just let me know. You want to come on? Let me know. Let Jerry know. Reach out on our social media, any page, it's fine, or the Wooden Work podcast page. And yeah, let's get talking. And let's make this podcast a permanent thing. So we'll see you next time. Thank you very much, everyone.
Good night.